Alright guys, welcome back to the shed. It's a 125 Chinese branded motorcycle. Now this was in an accident. As we can see, the last person that was riding this unfortunately took a slide on it. So we've got a fair bit of damage. Now, we're going to work on this bike and we're going to attempt to put it back on the road. Now because this has been lying for a while, there's a few things we need to do before we try and start it up. So first and foremost, obviously, take the battery out. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure the engine is not seized. Now obviously this being a 125, there is a kickstart. The actual lever of the kickstart's missing, so I need to turn it by hand. This is easy enough. This is Relax Moto. All we do is we take this side panel off and we've got access to the crank. Most bikes you'll have access to the crank. There's a socket, extension bar, and obviously a bar, and we just turn it over a few times. Right, that's turning nice and easy. It's not seized. So with the engine not being seized, next step, we'll take the seat off and we'll undo the tank. So we've got an 8mm. So removing your seat's going to be different. The process of this, refer to your maintenance manual, or alternatively have a look on the internet. There is Facebook groups out there that tend to dedicate towards manufacturers or model of bike that you own. If I remember correctly, yep, that's just the one bolt, and off comes the seat. We'll set that down the back here anyway, and what we'll do is we'll just place that bolt back in there, and now we'll pull the tank. Again, removal of the tank is entirely dependent on your motorbike. This one should have two of these screws, but it's missing one. So just pull that down, and that's us. I'll screw that down. Make sure the stopcock's set to off, and we'll lift this up. So there may be wires coming up to your tank, so just be careful. Connect the fuel line. Wires. There we go. Tank is off. Job is to take our carburetor out. Pull that off. Cheap tray to put our stuff in. Right, so I have noticed that the rubber's cracked in this, but right now that's a problem for later on. Disconnect the choke. Again, I'm not too worried about this rubber section here, because I'll probably fit a wee cone filter to this rather than having the box filter. Anyway, right, 125 carburetors are pretty simple. Unscrew that piece there, just take the slide out, unscrew this piece here. Right, so that's our carburetor out. First off, we'll continue stripping it down. Construction is pretty simple. single cylinder, butterfly choke, throttle slider. That's us really. Right, screwdriver. We are going to tear this down, get it cleaned up, so we can get it put back on the bike. Obviously, this is an essential component. So to restart this bike, we really need to get this clean. Otherwise, we're not getting fuel through properly. So construction is simple. It's BZ26. Quite a common carburetor that's cloned. Couldn't ask for anything simpler, really, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah, still got fuel in there. I thought it was clear of fuel. Right, anyway. So we've pulled this, and we can see this is fairly dirty. Again, these are generally easy enough. Sub point 8, push out that pin, take it out, your float comes out, fuel valve, we will take these jets out. So we see on that, right, this is our main jet. Right, air intake and carburetor cleaner, that's all we're going to use to clean this. That's all you should need really. And a wee set of brushes. Just that cleaned. Right, so once we've finished clearing these out, we'll grab air, if you've got a compressor, air nozzle, or canned air if need be. And we'll just blow all these clear. Alright guys, somehow I managed to accidentally pause the video while I was recording. Don't know how I managed it. So we've finished cleaning all this. So now we're ready to start getting it back together. 45 times lucky. Put a finger on it. The valve goes in there. It's there. Find our pin. Now it's just friction that holds this pin in. We'll make sure it's right the way through. Right, our other jet. Again, these are simple carburetors, and I'm not going to go over how these work. We're just getting this out. Right. Don't need to go nuts on these screws, just tighten them up, make sure they're snug. This is the throttle. What we'll do, Same. Right. Slider done. Now we move on to the needle. Now, needle is just a standard C-clip style. Just take that off. Give it a rub down. C-clip back in. Middle notch. Always the middle notch. This is a wee spring clip for holding the needle in. We get a wee clean. We drop it in there. Then you need to mess about to get it to sit in there. There we go. If we look at the side, we've got this side, and this is where your throttle cable goes. And this side is where the screw goes for adjusting the RPM. Okay. What a lot of people tend to do is they'll put it in the wrong way and the throttle doesn't close properly. This is a bit for the idle screw. So we'll set that, and as you can see, the throttle slide travels all the way. Now if we take this out, turn it around, that's as far as it goes. Doesn't go any further. So when you start your bike, you're going through it full throttle. Right, so our idle screw, we'll lift it up about that far. That should do. The turn spring and the top of the carburetor for the time being. Idle air fuel mixture screw. So we screw this in all the way, just until it's just seated, just ever so gently. Don't crank down on it. Once we're there, we're going to take out 2.5 turns. So it's 1, 2.5. 2.5 turns to start with. Let's get us back on the bike. Right, guys. Right, so just now we're not too fussed about the airbox. Having the filter on isn't going to stop us from getting this started, or not having the filter on. Got a plain scroggy. Okay. Snap my screwdriver. Moving on to the next one. Okay. Right. I'll just get this rubber out. It can go in the bin because we'll not be using it again. Alright guys, carburetor's in, so we're going to reattach the throttle, which is easy enough. We've got our cable. Cable goes through that hole, comes down at the bottom, like so, and we just pull it, and that's it in place. And then we take it back off because we're an idiot. Put the top of the carburetor back on, put our spring in place, squeeze the spring down and hold it, and then we pull that through like so. Right, And we'll just slide that back down in place. Screw that back on. Now, as I said previous, don't need to worry about filter. Run it for a short time. If you're concerned, you can put, say, the end of your stocking over this, just to stop anything big getting into it. But you should, in general, be okay. But we do need to make sure we've got a tight fit, because if air gets in to this space here between the manifold and the carburetor, then obviously you've got too much air. And you'll be leaning out your mixture.